All right, so back in July of 2020, I had a nice little garden. I think I did pretty well considering this was the first attempt I had at growing a garden. I don't think I did too bad. I basically built it out of salvage deck boards, but unfortunately, after years of neglect, I think it's time for a new garden. So the idea with this is to basically disassemble it and see if there's anything that I can salvage. The deck boards I think are beyond um, reuse. We'll see though. The main thing is that I'll be able to salvage the dirt. There's quite a bit here. I was able to get a good amount salvaged from the boxes that I could reuse in another application, and as well as filling some low spots around my yard. So yeah, I'm happy that I was able to basically get the leftovers. As far as the rest of the garden boxes, everything kind of came apart nicely. It just took time. One of the interesting things was the sticks that I had buried, kind of as the hugelkultur technique that I used to start the garden. And I was surprised that they hadn't decomposed more over the 6 years. So it made for just a little bit of a painful uh, extraction, I guess you can say. But all in all, after a fairly long day of multiple loads of dirt, I was basically left with a pile of sticks, a giant pile of dirt, and a giant pile of wood that unfortunately I wasn't able to salvage. So that kind of foiled my plans, and I ended up having to go get some brand new lumber from the lumber yard. Okay, so for today's project, I'm going to be making a salad bar. So this is inspired by my aunt who has a kind of raised bed garden right outside her patio door, so she can get easily accessible garden vegetables like literally step outside of her house. So I'm going to do a similar thing, but I'm going to use these dish bins. So I've had them in a garden configuration before. You can see I got some dirt in there. But today I'm going to build a frame structure to get these higher up, raised off the ground, and basically hold them all in position. So yeah, so that's what we're going to do today, and let's get into it. Oh, but first, thank you for all the subscribers that have watched and continue watching, and yeah, and coming back for more, I guess. Recently hit the 1,000 subscriber milestone, so that's pretty cool. I'm going to keep on keeping on and getting more videos out. So yeah, hopefully more and more people will sort of join up and continue to watch and whatnot. So yeah, so thank you very much for that. And yeah, if you haven't been here before, my name is Jeremy. I'm an industrial designer by training, public servant by day, and a passionate maker by night and on the weekends. So I do most of my work on the weekends, and that's what this is. So enough blah blah blah. Let's get working here. So. So I started this project by working on the leg structures. Now I wanted this to be similar to the benches that I had previously designed and built. So essentially I'm going to be using pressure treated 2x4s and deck boards as the building materials. So in order for these to have a similar look and feel, I wanted them to be angled instead of a square, 90-degree structure. But because this is going to be quite a bit taller, the angles need to actually be more subtle. So effectively, I'm cutting everything at a 5-degree angle as opposed to the benches that I built that had a 15-degree angle. So a lot more kind of laid back. But if I was to use that geometry in this, the legs would be too wide at the top and too narrow at the bottom, and it just wouldn't make sense. But in order to preserve the same design aesthetic, I wanted to keep the angled structure there, so this was a compromise. And similar to the benches, I guess you can call them the leg structures, I have built out of 1 2x4 for each leg structure, minimizing the amount of waste as I go. So that basically gave me a decent height and, you know, a very small amount of offcuts from the 2x4. So that was pretty cool. All right, so I'm going to use the deck boards as a spacer, basically to position this right in the middle of the two 2x4s. And then I'll be able to drive in the screws, and let's do one side at a time here. My gravity clamp. Okay, so now that I got this frame done, all I need is another. Cool, all right, so 2 frames, and the next step is to make some stretcher bars. So these are gonna basically fit in between the bins, spanning from one side to the other. That will act as a support structure where the legs are not. It'll all make sense in a second. Unfortunately, the video that I thought was recording when I explained all this didn't in fact record. So just doing a little voiceover now while you get to watch me measure out these. I'm calling them stretcher bars, but essentially it's a support that will basically hold the bin in place. You'll see. Just hang out for a second. "21, 18, 19, 20, 21. Still 21. This is too short, I'm going to eat my hat. Oh yeah. Okay, so starting 1 inch off the edge, that way I can have another deck board on the side. Measure out 1.5 inches for the 2x4, and then the bins are 15 inches each. So if I have another 2x4 on center at every 15 inches, so this is where the 2 frame sections are going to be, and then this will be a stretcher bar in the middle, and then the other one on the end here. Nice. Once I had the overall dimension, I was able to cut the deck boards to length. So these are going to basically skirt around the entire upper portion and hold those stretcher bars at the middle and the 2 ends to offer some additional support for the bins. So So this is basically going to be the final assembly for the upper portion. And then eventually I will put the leg assemblies in as well. It's a 20-pound basketball full of sand. I'm just going to put the main legs in and just force this down back so it's nice and flush to the table. That might need some persuasion. There we go. There we go. Looks all right. Yep. All right, now I got both the legs on. Let's flip this over and give the bins a test fit. Yeah, it'll work, I think. Decent height. Just need to get some end caps on the sides, and then I think that will do just fine. Yeah. Okay, so that wraps up this project. I've got the salad bar out on the deck. Still a little bit early in the season, so I haven't started filling up the bins or planting yet, but I did do a quick test to see if it'll unbalance and flip over if one of the bins is weighted while the other ones are empty. Didn't, so that's good. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have some plans for these. I won't probably have them when the video is posted, but I'll work on that. There might be some things I want to tweak in this, so I'll see how that goes. But yeah, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed these videos and you haven't subscribed already, please do so. I've got more coming. And yeah, until then, go make something.